Well now, how's my favorite Godwoken? An old lone wolf colleague of mine in disguise, Callow. He's hunting Godwoken, but don't worry. I didn't tell him our little secret. Poor fellow'd have an attack of the bloody flux if he knew what was really going on.
Ifan bites his lip and laughs.
That'll be tough for you to say without any teeth. But be my guest. Give it a whirl. Don't worry. I'm not going to hand you in for the bounty. Sure, you could do the very same to me. I think we should know who hunts us, and why. Just play it cool. We go in, we get answers, we leave. Nothing more to it than that.
From the glint in his eye and the wicked smile he wears, you can tell he speaks in jest.
All right. It has the potential to get messy. Very messy indeed. But I've got your back if you've got mine. No. No. Heard of? Yes. He's got a lot of pets. I heard he takes them as souvenirs after every contract he fulfills. But I'll be honest with you. I don't ask too many questions about why. I don't, want to know.
Ifan claps you on the shoulder and beams at you, affection for you plain in his eyes. What?
You have an ever so curious definition of happiness. I've picked up the scent I searched for. Such a happening comes coupled with very different emotions indeed. The cat, when it's about to pounce, isn't happy. It simply is.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, I always figured every dwarf is pure of heart when they pop out of their mummas. But we ain't born cruel. We're made cruel. That means we can be made uncruel. Not sure Lohar will ever be an upstanding member of his community. But he knows where to draw the lines.
What can I do for you? Ramos the Wanderer. He's a legend among lizards. The greatest dreamer of them all. The one that has mastered the dark of horror sleep and has found sanctuary amid its horrors. The most inhospitable plane imaginable. A realm of insanity and death beneath a starless black. Picture a maze filled with your greatest fears. Picture haunting that maze forever. That is but the first step into horror sleep. Because if one braves the absolute terrors of nightmare and finds sanctuary there, one is safe even from the void. That's right. Horror sleep is a realm feared by the cosmic menace that is the void. Ideal location for a summer house.
Just when I think this land... Still, at least this isn't...
Did you know our arena champion's a bloody cheat, stranger? Murga tripped me and bit off my earlobe before the fight had even started.
Watch out for Murga, stranger. She's a formidable fighter, our dear arena champion, and not one to suffer fools lightly.
Gods, is there a void woken down there? Must be one strong force field keeping it inside.
In the shadows, A dwarven woman spits obscenities down upon a caged void-woken. She exudes a powerful air of menace and an even more powerful odor of old sweat and dried blood. She spies you and glowers.
More fodder for the arena. Let Murga the champion test how good your reflexes are.
Curling her torn lip back over broken teeth, she grabs your hand and pulls you down to the ale-soaked table. Never losing eye contact, she begins arm wrestling you. She glimmers in and out of view, merging with the shadows. Crowing, she slams her hand down hard beside your face, hard enough to make you flinch.
Jokes won't pick you up from the arena floor, dear. I bested that void-woken below us, you know. Dragged that scaly lump down there with my own 2 hands. So, since you can't hope to beat me, what is it you want down here? Ah, based on your performance so far, that's cute. But I shouldn't judge your baby steps. The lion judges not the pussycat, eh?
The look she shoots you is withering enough to ruin a harvest.
I don't owe you squat, but if you've got enough heart, I'll bite. Ah, go talk to the raucous one. Tell him I sent you, and he'll set you up for a challenge. Prove yourself worthy fighting my acolytes blindfolded, then I'll knock your teeth out.
Down for a little scuffling and tussling? Let's see if you got some fight in ya. Well, that just may interest our current champion, Murga. She'll want to talk with you herself before she'll assent to any challenge. Watch your words, mind. She takes against you, there'll be no talking yourself into her good graces again. Alright, just make sure to keep the blindfold on. You take it off, you lose the challenge. Real simple. In any case, you're in for a treat, lass. Better than sweet cream stew on Lucian's Day. Who's coming along with you? It's your only chance, so put your thinking cap on.
lifts your blindfold and nudges your nose with her own, laughing.
Nice to see the cub has some claws. You drew blood. Enough to know you're alive. And you proved yourself against my little challenge. So now we will fight. Human, come on. Show me I'm alive. Talk to the raucous one when you're ready to fight.
She winks over her shoulder at you and then disappears.
Nice show out there. You're smouldering, you are. Oh, this'll be a scotcher. Who you taking along? You only get this one chance, so keep your wits about you.
I'm fading.
Prepare yourself!
Sorceress, caged like a little ickle squirmy worms. Delicious.
Murga blanches, jaw hardening as she steps backwards. It could be just a trick of the light, but it certainly looks like she's trembling with fear.
This is bad news, Cupcake. That's the spirit. You go ahead and soften him up for me. Hop 2, and don't even think this championship is over yet.
Flickering and glimmering in and out of sight in the gloom, Murga winks at you and then disappears.
Just like last time, she runs to her little ickle fading shadows. Won't save you. Can't save you.
The dwarf bounces up and down with glee, then catches himself and clears his throat. He bows before you.
Extraordinary, lass, just extraordinary. The spirit of the one has yet to settle, but it hovers near. It knows your great feat. I feel the glow. Ain't just praise you're earning, though. Giving you this key, too. It's an arena champ tradition. Takes you to treasure, it does. And only a champ can survive that journey.
The dwarf bellows out to all within earshot.
I proclaim thee the champion of the Driftwood Arena. Get your gloat on and take a swig of ale. Hell, take a dozen. We'll be singing for years to come of the great elven Void Slayer.
An elf in tattered red robes shifts through pages of handwritten notes spread across the table.
So many suspects. So many potential culprits. I need to narrow down the list. Think, you damn elf, think.
A floorboard creaks beneath your foot. The elf leaps around abruptly.
What are you doing, elf? Trying to get a drop on me? Sneak up and slit my throat? I'm no elf. Don't you call me that.
The elf glares and pulls aside his ragged red clothing. Beneath it, his chest is laced with a series of scars. Old war wounds by the looks of them.
You see that, elf? That's Magister flesh. Loyal flesh that's made sacrifices for a true cause. You have more in common with insects and vermin than you do with me. 7 preserve me. Are you entirely ignorant, elf? My own Magister comrades are vanishing from right here in Driftwood. Whoever's behind it must be stopped. If you hear anything, come to me. I was removed from their ranks due to my elven blood. I'll continue to serve, though. I won't stand to see my comrades taken by some vile traitor. The Magisters are all I know, all I want. I turned my back on everything else when I joined them. My name, my blood, my history. If I'm not one of them, I'm nothing. I have to help them. 3 Magisters missing so far, and the rest are hunting for some sorcerer called Higba, a bloody tinkerer. He can't be responsible. I'm certain he can't. He might be a greedy little junk peddler and a sorcerer to boot, but hardly capable of seizing Magisters. They won't listen to me. Not anymore.
The elf nods stoically.
Exactly. I'm convinced that this tavern holds the key. It's full of scum and degenerates. The true culprit could easily hide amongst them. I have to keep investigating. Keep the pressure up. The culprit will make a mistake eventually. If you see anything suspicious, let me know. What? I serve with utter loyalty now and forever. Now get away from me and don't come back unless you have information I can use. I'm approaching this the wrong way. I must be.
Take that, sorcerer! Dallas, get her!
You're dead, Alexander. Alexander, you're dead. You have to stay dead until we say you're not dead anymore.
Here, missus! Alexander doesn't have to stay dead, does he? Hey, are you an elf? Whoa!
Cool. I think you look weird.
See? Told ya. Take that, sorcerer. Come on, Dallas, help me put a collar on her.
Turtle Johnny puts an invisible sauce collar on Mary Lane.
Take that, sorcerer. No more saucy sorcery for you. Alexander and Dallas save the world again. I hate this game.
The little girl giggles and runs back to join her friends, eager to play once more. For a moment, you watch the children play. Then you leave them to it.
This must be the
I'm
place
approaching
Lohar
this the
mentioned.
wrong way. I must be.
Unassuming enough.
The cat stares up at you. Its midnight black pupils are too prominent for you to discern the colour of its glazed eyes.
8 lives already gone, but I'd gladly lose the last if you can throw me a fish. One of those smelly kind. That I need 'em. So yummy. They taste like shadows and spoiled cream and turn the air dark. Ah, it feels so beautiful against my fur, like being caressed by black cotton.
You can stay there with the dirty lizards and Joe's mum until you're cured.
Who would do this?
I'd give my right paw for a taste of smelly mackerel.
The cat looks to the fish, then back to you, and again, and yet again. The fish, then you. Finally, it scarfs down its meal and begins to drool. He opens his mouth as if to meow, but makes no sound. Then there's a quick snap, and a fishtail hangs from the cat's mouth. He belches, then pokes the fish with his milk-white nose.
Maybe I should stick to the good stuff for a while. But I'll miss the shadow.
He pokes his nose at your map, leaving a wet spot.
I think you'll find something interesting there. Found me some goodies during life number 6. Now, if you don't mind, I need a bit of me time.
Well, ain't you a tall drink of tallness? What can I do for you, honey?
She fluffs them and coos.
You're so very, very sweet to notice, honey. Ain't easy keeping him so nice in a dusty town like this. But I do take pride in him. Sure, why not? Not all of 'em hatch, you know. And between you and me, honey, I don't mind the taste of an omelette now and again. Go on and scoot then, honey.
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy? Oh, you want a list? I've got eggs to lay, grass to tidy, grain to clear, and Magister boots to peck. Now, if you'll excuse me.
What's this? I found something.
Oh, what is it, Eckish? Is that a joke of some? If it is, it's only a little funny. But you tried, and that's something. So here, take an egg for your effort.
You doing okay, boy of mine? Fine, Bab, you're a hero. We'll stay out of there, thanks.
Occupied! Oh, unholy hells! Leave me be, demon! That's what I get. Bloody tainted stew! Makes a little, fish into some of my stew. Bloody mackerel must have been tainted. Save me, Lucian!
Her Munificence Dallis the Hammer, Scourge of the Voidwoken and Saviour of the Sorcerers, upon the advice of her most sage council, in her capacity as the titular head of our beloved Lucian's divine order, hereby layeth bounty upon the fell sorcerer murderers of Alexander, Bishop Divine. She, or he, or it, who slayeth said sorcerers, or other sorcerers, with malice or without, may count upon the hammer's most benign and just benevolence. The deaths of the evil ones shall be rewarded in this life and the next. Hail to the hammer, 7 times blessed. The poster flutters lightly in the breeze.
It proved to be child's play to outwit her. No doubt it'll be child's play to cut her down.
We slipped her island without too much of a to-do. The Divine Order isn't as all-powerful as it likes to think.
She seems to be out for blood. I fear I may, for once, be found lacking.
Slipped her noose in Fort Joy. I'm not too worried about slipping it again.
No news here. Everyone wants a piece of me.
Let her cower on that ship of hers and be glad the water's too foul for me to swim.
Looks like we're on the wanted list.
Can't we go play with the others?
I feel so special.
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Hackles raised, the dog barks at the sand built up beneath the building.
You're nice, and I'm a good dog. Yes, I am. There's something not right, and that's wrong. It's under the house thing there, and it's bad. I can smell it. You be careful now. What's under there smells real bad. It smells evil.
Might as well have rotted to death.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids. She slowly opens her left eye, then her right, and wipes away the slobber.
What's it to you, slow wit?
The dwarf unfolds her arms and shoots to her feet.
All right, elf. Right glad Lohar ain't left us here to wither. Those brutes are taking their sweet time down there. I gotta send word soon. Who knows? Anything that gives away what Mordus has been up to. Probably got all sorts of tricks for covering his tracks, but the goons downstairs should sniff out something. That weird priest's been hanging around Lohar for ages. Now he's vanished. Those half-wits below will know more. Get to it then. But tell the lunkheads that Glenn has sent you before they bash your brains in.
Down the hatch then.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? What?
I spotted something. I spotted something. A skull. It's missing an eye. As far as locks go, this one's pretty macabre.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
For us than for it to budge by our own hands.
There
It's
we go.
opening,
The door's
finally.
opening.
Duna's dagger elf. You here to free us or kill us?
The male dwarf expels 2 lungfuls of air and glances happily at his companion.
We've only been fretting here for a few hours, but it's felt like days.
That snot-nosed priest's as slippery as a snake in an oil drum.
Ain't found nothing that lets on what Modus is up to. Only thing we managed were to close that door and get us stuck. And if there's another door out there, never could find it.
Lohar ain't gonna be pleased.
Ain't no telling where that priest has gone to. Started acting all funny not so long ago, then flew the coop. Well, at first, he was just buddying around with Lohar and the rest, you know. But then he'd start looking all sickly and run off for a day or two. Then some stranger tried taking old Lohar down, but got himself caught and tied up. Ain't no coincidence Modus went hanging around then.
She taps a finger against her forehead.
A woman knows things. Nothing's getting past me. Best we head off then. We've got business to attend to.
The shrine depicts Duna, yet has clearly seen better days. Scratches and fissures deface its exterior, and its eyes have been gouged hollow. You scrape your knee on the wooden floor. Nothing else happens. The stone is cold against your palm. If this figure once held power, it has since been depleted.
Careful! I spotted a trap.
Well, this won't do. If I can get stuck, then I can get unstuck.
Lohar will want to know of this.
Poor baby.
Better get out there before Maldus makes it all the way past Arks. I asked you for a man, not a note.
He takes the letter from your hands and reads it quickly, face hardening with anger as he reaches the end.
Bloody goddamn spit-sucking weasel! This is bad. Not just for me and mine. Not just for you and yours. This is bad. For everyone. Hell if I know, but it don't sound good. Seems as though Mordus wasn't mine after all. Trouble is, I don't know whose he is. Of course. That's why I haven't heard from the cave. Sabotage. Listen up, I need your help. We all do. Mordus has his hands on something dangerous. Something I was trying to protect us from. Not just my folks. The whole damn realm. Look, me and mine, we move classified cargo. Take it right off Magister ships and put it into the hands of those that will use it rightly. Trouble is, we came across something no one ought to have. Not the Magisters, not my folks, not the gods themselves. I ordered it to be destroyed. I guess Mordus, whoever he's working for, wants it for themselves. That can't happen. The less you know, the better. Trust me. Stop Mordus and I'll take care of the rest. My people had an operation up in the caves outside town. Good access to red ships and plenty of privacy too. Haven't heard from them in a couple of days now. I thought maybe we'd lost the messengers to Voidwoken in the hills, but now I think it's worse than I thought. I bet my lucky left foot Mordus is in the cave. You gotta get to him before he gets his hands on that cargo. Pray to whoever you pray to that it ain't too late. Finally, someone with a little sense around here. Give me your map. I'll show you where we were operating, where I think Mordus will be. I don't want to know what'll happen if he gets what he's after.
How you holding up?
Startled, the guard leaps backwards and reaches for her weapon. She locks eyes with yours.
Shouldn't surprise me like that. Oh, I could have sliced your neck clean open.
Rustling leaves no longer remind me of autumn. A songbird's call no longer makes me whistle. Now, they might signal a Voidwoken's attack.
Have you ever faced a Voidwoken?
Nonsense. You best abandon those fables of yours. The danger is real. And the first to fall will be the dreamers and the...
Be wary. That hound has a nose for sauce. Halt! The hound smells sauce on you. Plenty of it. Haven't got a collar for you. Damn it. I'm sorry, but I can't let you leave. Hounds, at the ready. Fine, fine. Do all the gallivanting you want. But if a hound goes snapping at your heels, I'm looking the other way.
License.
Buzz off.
You met me as a lone wolf. But did I ever tell you of my past in the Divine Order?
A fisherman stares at the water, muttering to himself.
The missus will kill me. She'll tear me a new mouth halfway down my neck. Fish will bite, all right. Not that you'd eat one. I've got a worse problem than that. Way, way worse. I've gone and dropped my wedding ring in the water.
He gives you a sorrowful look.
My wife's dead, buddy.
He looks at you disapprovingly, but can't keep a straight face.
I'm pulling your leg. She's fine. She'll be bloody furious if I don't get that ring back, though. I could do that. I could. But seeing as the ring has a bit of sauce to it, like as not, going in there will attract Voidwoken. All things equal, between an angry wife and Voidwoken, I'm leaning towards the wife.
He squints, first at you, then at the water.
You looking to meet a Voidwoken, are you? You must have a high opinion of yourself in a fight, or you wouldn't be so eager.
He gives you a strange look, then turns away.
With you around, I don't think I'll take the risk. I'll have to face herself in all her wrath. Better get fishing. A bit of gold for dinner at the tavern might soften the blow. Bidding you good day, then.
I spotted something.
Voidwoken, arms!
Firecrackers!
A horrified fisherman stares at the water, muttering to himself.
That was terrifying. I need to get myself a new line of work. Something as far away from the water as I can go. Goat herd, high on a mountain. Spice trader in the deserts. Anything but this. If the missus will go for it, of course. She likes the beach. You found it! How wonderful! The wife will be thrilled. Or she would if she ever found out about this, which of course she won't. But I can't thank you enough.
He slips the ring onto his finger, where it dangles loose.
I feel better already. Need to fatten myself up again so I don't lose it a second time. Can't be relying on the kindness of strangers to dig me out. The very best to you. I wish you well.
With a new confidence in his stance, he turns back to his fishing.
What? You be needing something from me, lass? Ain't much inclined to rub elbows with elves, if you catch me drift. Ain't no one been standing together since Lucian died. Ain't been no goodwill among your kind, or mine, or anyone else's since the Reds have been in charge. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em, you mark my words. Until then, I'll practice the art of gutting unspoiled fish. I had friends. Good friends. Not even dwarves, some of them. Reds put him on a ship, sailed him to Fort Joy. Ever heard of that place? Fort Joy? They send you there means you ain't never coming back. You've been there? Smack in the middle of the lion's den? Crikey! So you're a sorcerer then? In that case, you must know about the fugitive. That fella all those Reds are looking for. I mean, if he's a sorcerer too, you'll want to do right by him, won't you? Make sure they don't catch the poor bugger.
The dwarf leans in and begins whispering conspiratorial.
This fella runs along, right? Sweating, panicking. Reds racing after him like hunting hounds. Hide in a barrel, you fool, I yelled. And what do you know? He did. Problem is, he's still in there. Been hours. Can't go nowhere, he can't, not with the Reds around.
Behind the containers, the fish in one of the barrels shifts slightly.
Please, you have to help me. The Magisters have gone mad. This isn't the time for jokes. The Magisters want me dead. Please, you have to help. Please help me. I don't want to die. I don't want them to take me. I just need to get out of Driftwood. I can't risk being seen, but if you can get out of town, I can escape to Arks. Please, I'll do anything. Just don't let them see me. Don't. Thank you. Oh, Lucian, 7 times divine, thank you. I'll follow your lead. But please, be careful. last, I can breathe again. At last! I was sure I'd die in that wretched place. You
Justice.
I'll follow you.
What in the seven hells is a lizard doing?
At last, I can breathe again. At last! I was sure I'd die in that wretched place. You have my thanks. If not for you, I probably would have been found, gutted, and salted. I can't just saunter away. Who knows what might be lurking in a place like... But once I'm sure the way's clear, I'm running to Ox like a cat with its tail on fire. I'm done with this stinking town. I've been asking myself the same thing. I was just enjoying some stew in the tavern, reading over my latest acquisitions, and then I was surrounded by magisters.
He hands you a damp scroll. In between the fish guts, it seems to give details of how to cast a powerful source spell.
Here, take it. That's the scroll that caused all this. I barely got out of there with my life. Oh, of course. I mean, I'm not much of a sorcerer, but I have my connections. Hanag's a pretty powerful source master, incredible control of portals. I've never seen anyone bend space like she can. Last I heard, she was holed up in a house out in Paradise Downs, the farms to the north. There's more than a few magisters around those parts, though. She might still be there. Might not. But I pity any red cloak that gets on her bad side. In the kitchens of the tavern, of all places. That cook had it. Offered it for a great price, too. I thought she was an idiot selling it so cheap. Then again, I'm the dolt who ended up in a barrel. But if I swear, once I get to Ox, I'm going to have the bath of my life.
The Magister bristles. For a moment his hand twitches towards his sword, but he thinks better of it.
I'm looking for someone fork-tongued. Grey cloak, grey beard, acting suspiciously. Perhaps you've seen him. Watch your tongue. I'm after a wanted man, a tinkerer, but I could still find time to haul you into a cell. You can walk away from me, but if you see anything strange, report it immediately. Elf, have you seen a human acting suspiciously? If you see anything...
Hope that fella makes it out of Driftwood. The Reds will kill him if they find him. You were? Atta girl. Like a swift kick in the Reds' bollocks, that. You gladden an old dwarf's heart, fella, me lass. And even these rotten kippers smell the better for it. Reds got 'em, but can they hold 'em? I mean, you got out, didn't you? Maybe they can too.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Fascinating. Most fascinating. Oh my, what do you want?
The dwarf shakes his head with irritation before turning back to the fish.
You're blocking my light, go away. Nothing wrong with taking pride in your work.
The dwarf grimaces and points the tip of his knife at his handiwork.
Whatever's wrong with these fish is causing a lot of hardship for a lot of folk. I want to figure out what's happening to them, see if there's anything that can be done. Yes, as it happens, I need to see the effects of eating these fish firsthand, if you understand me. Do as I ask, and you'll be amply rewarded, I guarantee you. Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I wish to learn more about. Care to choose?
The fish instantly churns your insides. Your vision blurs to reveal towering horrors. The Voidwoken, gathered before a silhouetted figure. You strain to see who it is. Your perspective abruptly changes. Cold, dark water. You glide through it. Black tendrils suddenly creep across your vision. You slow. The darkness consumes you. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased. The dwarf leans in and peers intently at your eyes.
Spontaneous delusions. Very interesting. But nothing more than a side effect from eating the fish, I'm sure. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant. Elves are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Perhaps a touch more vivid in their hallucinations, but otherwise identical. Thank you, but no. I can only allow for 1 specimen per volunteer, or my findings could... The fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase alertness. But this one, touched by the void itself. Who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mixture? Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes. Adding these unique ridgebacks might make quite the impact. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course. Farewell, stranger.
The stink of beer almost covers up the stink of fish.
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, missus. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scales, crimson guts spilling out in its wake. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
Well, good thing you don't have my job, 'cause then you'd be raw, and you'd be poor. Boss has a buyer for nearly all our stock. A top price, too.
Your clap on the back knocks his knife askew, cutting a jagged line through the best of the flesh. He looks at you with disgust as he tosses the fish aside.
Lucky ain't the word I'd use. More's patient. So go and loom somewhere else, elf. I got enough to do without picking your leaves off the catch.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arx has the same inscription.
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike, so scram.
You'd swear the shark was smiling at you.
Bugger off, I'm busy.
Grisha's still the favourite.
If I bet against him, I could win big. Or lose it all.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He seems to be expecting you. He offers you a large and rusted key.
You took your time. The Magisters are searching the place, and Lohan needs to get his stuff out of the basement if he doesn't want to lose it. Good. And if you get caught, I know nothing about it, and this conversation never happened. Good day.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy. He tries to ignore your presence. Fails. He sighs.
See here, elf. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with Magisters, and our shipments to Arx are held up. Time is money. Don't waste my money. What do you want? A murderer, or a sorcerer, or some other species of miscreant? Whichever it is, it has nothing to do with me, except that it's stopping me shipping my fish into Arx. Now, please, your kind obviously lacks the sophistication to understand basic business principles, but it may interest you to know that there's a market for everything. You just have to find it. Or...
A dark shadow passes across his face.
Sometimes it finds you. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect. An excellent point. Well made. The answer to your question is, unsurprisingly, a man in a house. A man in a house buys all the void-tainted fish I can send him.
That dark shadow crosses his face once more. He shivers.
Not that I've ever met the man. Not sure I want to, if I'm honest. When you've been in business as long as I have, you learn not to question these things too closely. Now I'll get back to my work, and I suggest you get back to leaving. Good day.
If I ever go to Arx, I'm staying away from this black house. Careful now, that's a trap. Careful now, that's a trap. This place stinks. But some of these barrels look interesting.
One barrel of fish stands out from the others. One barrel of fish stands out. One barrel of fish stands out from the others. It's sealed and marked with a cross. Something about it seems familiar. One barrel of fish stands. Dripping with liquid sauce, this barrel is sealed and marked with a cross. From the barrel you sense a familiar power. It thrums in your bones, in your soul. Nothing stirs in the dank and stinking basement, and yet you feel an imminent presence. Inside, you find not fish, but weapons. Powerful weapons. The kind of weapons the Magisters took from the hollow marshes.
Lauher's crew, but did you see their eyes?
Indeed. As black as obsidian.
Our shield has gone mad!
What was that voice? It wouldn't stop. It was like razors in my brain. I thought it sounded familiar, but different. I can't quite remember.
What am I doing here? I thought I was in the cave.
The dwarf looks around in confusion, quietly talking to itself. It seems oblivious to you.
another mad...
Persistent little flies. Puss back to your dung heap.
More dwarves.
Stupid
Stone.
You recall the eyes of the dwarves, black until death, when they faded to normal.
The air here is heavy, like the deserts before a storm. Let us watch for thunderclouds.
How curious. Let us hurry. I should like to find the entity responsible for this.
This is a foul place full of foul play. We must stay on our toes.
There was something in the ground. Back in the cave, they...
The dwarf bangs his palm against his head.
Damn it! I can't think. I can't remember.
Well now, how's my...
Ifan claps you... The spirit traces runes in the air. You recognize the gesture. It's the same one you perform when gifting others with your blessing. Your hand reaches through her. As you pull back, a shiver overtakes you and a cloud descends. You see through the woman's eyes. You feel the discomfort of a source collar as you tug at it. Then, a clatter and a shriek. A winged voidwoken has grasped you in its talons. It takes you to the air as you flail impotently. The voidwoken continues its journey for hours, perhaps days. You watch as familiar land and sea pass under you until the creature slows. The talons open, first air and wind, then a thud, blackness, light. You peer through the fog to see two dwarves, eyes as black as coals. They are dragging you through grass and stone. Perfect bait. The master will be pleased, drones one of them. The blessing fades. The spirit's hands are stilled. She looks to the sky, searching, then lowers her head and flashes the tiniest of smiles. The silent spirit The dwarf rocks back and forth, staring at nothing.
That
can't have been real. Those monsters bursting out from the ground, it was just a dream. It had to be a dream.
Sorcerers. They brought in sorcerers? I can't remember. I can't remember why. I can't remember who.
This ain't right. I was on duty in the cave. I was on patrol and I was alive. This ain't right. None of this is right.
The statue stands before you in silence.
Here lies Patrick, prophet. He perished in this place, predicting the downfall of Brachus Rex. That's no way to die. Brachus was quite the tyrant. Lucian's teeth! These torches will not stay lit.
Attacking! Invasive maneuvers, Quackers!
What's happening to the shrine?
As the torches around you flicker and crack to life, you hear a low groan. It starts soft, then crescendos until your chest rattles and your head buzzes.
Brachus Rex! God damn you to this hell in which I suffer! God damn these burning flames! My blood boils in on death and you ask if it hurts. The indignity fans the flames. Just when the agony subsides, more come to the shrine and put flame to the torches. They think to honor me. Instead, they incinerate me. You summon me but don't know my name. I am the great prophet Patrick. I knew Brachus. I knew his secrets. I saw his rise and fall as woven into the tapestry of time. He branded my truth as blasphemy, and I burn for it! I live that horror. The truth invites danger. Some would sooner be swallowed by the void than tell it. Wait. You. I see it. You, too, follow a path consumed by fire. You must take my gift from among the flames. With it, you will know truth. With it, you can... Brachus!
The rumble reaches a deafening forte, then dissipates. The voice is gone. Only the whisper of the wind fills your ears.